Morning, game changers. Welcome to this weekly session that we do, where we are talking about entrepreneurship and leadership. Let me just share with you that it's time for change. The lockdown has had locked me down in Maung. So yesterday I was able to come back to Gaborone, which is actually my base. And so I've been trying to go online, figuring out things that I haven't been using in a while. But I managed to get back and set up this so that I can do this live stream. So today I'm joining in and doing this session from Gaborone. I've left Maun yesterday. So welcome everyone who is here today to join on in this conversation. Remember, Mondays, I really talk a lot about entrepreneurship. And then Wednesday, we talk about leadership, but it's still the same thing. But the focus is more really on leadership. So today is going to be quite intertwined because I looked at myself as an entrepreneur and other entrepreneurs that I know that since we start small where we are, we kind of start as working in the business, being part of the employees and part of the staff doing the work. But as you grow in your business, you need to elevate into that leadership role. So this brings me to the question that I ask: what is your role, in your business during this time of crisis, during this time of COVID that we are dealing with? And it's important to realize that even though you work in your business, you do things in your business, you are actually the leader in your business. And during time of crisis, it actually challenges you to step up, and put on that leadership head. So our biggest responsibility, as entrepreneurs, as big business owners, during time of crisis, is actually our leadership response. It is our leadership response. It means we need to now wear the hat of the leader and step up and make those big decisions that no one else would do in the organization except you. And it's very interesting how it seems easy, but it's very, very challenging because you need to be very realistic. You need to look into reality to see what is really going on in my business, what has changed, and what do I need to do as a leader to either move forward or to pause, So it really challenges you to look into your business, honestly and see what's working, what is not working, what decisions do I need to make to be able to move forward. So that is why I said in my previous session that the two things that we are going to need during this time of crisis is to make decisions effectively and to increase your influence, amplify your influence and make those decisions that are needed to be made. And this is where I want to separate, to differentiate between the two things of working in the business and working on the business. So right now, during this time of uncertainty, we are on what I call the on time. We are on the on time. And on time is actually time to work on the business and not in the business. It's time to really focus on looking at how are things going, looking at the systems, looking at the processes, looking at your numbers, looking at your overheads, looking at the money coming in. But most importantly, today I want us to look at that head in terms of making those critical decisions that you should be making, and maybe you are just avoiding them. Maybe you were too busy, trying to pivot, and you did not really address them. And I'm speaking from the position of both a coach, but also as an entrepreneur who is running, businesses. And this is what came to me. Last week I had to really sit down and look through some of the businesses that I'm running and some of the things that I've been doing. So I realized that I need to make some decisions. So that's why I'm asking, what decisions do you need to be making in your business right now amid this uncertainty of COVID, where two weeks we are on lockdown, 2 weeks we are doing business, and we don't know what the future holds for us. but we have a business to protect. We have team members to also take care of, and we can't afford to just be on a reactive mode. We need to sit down and really look into the business and become proactive. And one of the challenges with leadership is that the higher you go, the higher you climb on the leadership ladder, the magnitude of the decisions that you make actually will increase. And during a time of crisis, it actually they are actually being amplified, like right now. So I'm going to just share with you some of those decisions that you may need to make in your business that are actually difficult. They are going to require you to really wear that leadership hat. Is maybe I think the first one that most of us had to confront was whether to lay off your team members or not. And if you are in our country, we are in a state of emergency, and one of the things that the president said was, do not let people go. So you may realize that you still don't need to let people go, but can your business survive with the team and with what's going on? So what do you need to do? Do you need to maybe change their work arrangements, change their shifts, change how much time they are coming to work and how you are going to be paying them? Because I think those are some of the things that we need to look into, because this is what the SOE said. This is what the president suggested, that we don't let go of our team members. But what is the reality in your business right now? Can it afford to take in all your team members for the entire period of this uncertain time that we are going through? Do you need to make some decisions, difficult decisions that may not go well with people around you or even with you? So that's what you need to do. So do you need to bring in some shifts, cut down the amount of time that they are working? What do you need to do? And then secondly is to look at your business model. Do you think your business model is relevant right now? Do you need to continue doing business the way you were doing it before? Or you need to pivot, you need to tweak some of the things that you've been doing? And for most people, I know it meant going online. It meant going virtual. But the critical part is, if you had office space, do you still need to keep that office space? It may be in terms of whether keeping the office space as it is, or it means reducing the size of it. I know that for some people, the licensing requirement requires you to have office space. But if it doesn't, do you still need to keep that big office space that you have? And this is one of those challenges that I'm going through right now. At the end of the year, I actually moved from the office that I had in Block 3 in Gaborone and moved to Finance Park. It was quite a huge shift. It meant moving from a very small office to a very big office. It actually was 3 times the amount of rental that I was paying in Block 3 Industrial. And I didn't even get to occupy that office because we started, the landlord started working on it January, February, and then March, that's when they actually finished doing all the, the renovations in the repairs. So literally I occupied on the 1st of April, and that was on the onset of lockdown here in my country, in Botswana. So we're in lockdown April and May, and then we started going back in June. And so in June I wasn't even certain about it and the safety of my employees, so we didn't even go back to the office. So we continued working virtually, and then it spilled on to July. I was still paying the rent, and this month it really came clear to me that the way things are going. Because a lot of my work, if it's meeting people, it means hosting workshop, it means hosting conferences, it means hosting retreat, it means hosting seminars. And with the way COVID is going now, and with the way legislation has been put in place to ensure that it's social distancing, it means a lot of what I do, I can't do face to face. Even though right now I think with workshops, with meetings, we've been given a go ahead that we can do at least 50 people. It's okay when they're saying 50 people, but if you look at the safety of both your team members and both your clients, you realize that this is not conducive to be hosting even those events, because people are not free. You don't know who you are going to meet at that event. The safety of both you and your family and your team members is now at stake. So for me, really what this means is I'm not going to be needing this big office, soon. And I need to make a decision. And it's not an easy decision, because I actually spent about 35,000, like around $3.5 partitioning the office, customizing it to our needs. And I'm also then paying the rent. But I had to look at the cost between how much I've spent, in refurbishing that office, partitioning it, and what I'm going to be continually paying without using that office. So I had to really come to this difficult decision of saying, I need to let go of this office. And what does it mean? It means I've lost money in the partitions, in customizing the office, and in the rent that I've paid. But I'm looking at the future of how much more am I going to lose if I continue keeping on that office. I'm going to lose in terms of rentals, because I'm going to be paying the rent. I'm going to be paying, the internet that I've put up there. So those are some of those decisions that you are going to need to make in your business right now. So what overheads, what expenses do you need to cut? Do you need to let go of? So that is what really leadership means in terms of crisis. So your responsibility is a leadership response. Is how do I respond to this as a leader, as the owner of the business that I run. And I really want to zone on this, because I know that we can be caught up through all this uncertainty and trying to make ends meet, and then realize that at the end of this lockdown, we are left with huge debts, to settle, debts for things that we have actually never utilized, but we had never paused enough or never had the courage to take those decisions that would make sure that we minimize the losses, we minimize the expenses that are in the business. So my challenge to you today is to really go back, sit down and look through your business and see what decisions do you need to make. Maybe you are putting them off because they are uncomfortable, or maybe you have not been aware that you need to make them because you've been too busy trying to put out the fires, trying to see that there is at least income coming into the business. But what good is it for the income to come in from one side and then quickly, leave through the other, which is through expenses? So that's what I just wanted to share with you, that you need to wear your leadership hat right now in your business during this time of crisis, and you need to step onto the on time now, which is time where you need to be working on the business, making those decisions, coming up with those strategies, and not just running the day-to-day, doing the running to the day-to-day of the business. So wear your leadership hat, because your responsibility in your business right now is a leadership response. How are you responding as a leader, and what decisions do you need to make? What decisions are you making to make sure that you save the business from this COVID, and you can start afresh, or you can amplify the business when things calm down. Otherwise, thank you so much for your time and the listening. For all of you who are tuning in from wherever you are, share with me what's going on in your business and what decisions you need to be making right